The people that have read the original book, comic, or novel of any adaptation of a television show or movie need to stop being so damn entitled and let people enjoy the adaptation however they're gonna choose to enjoy it. This is something that's been bothering me for a long time, especially when it comes to like even myself and then some of my mutuals when we're reviewing shows or movies that are based on books, or even people that are reviewing things that are based on comics that they haven't read. Here comes the book readers or the comic readers always come in like, oh, I can tell from this video that you didn't actually read the book and you don't know what you're talking about. Okay, we're not talking about the book, we're talking about the movie. And a lot of times that movie or television show takes a lot of liberties with that source material. Like for example, Captain America Civil War was nothing like the Civil War of the comic books. Here's one example in my particular case, I have many more, but when I reviewed the first Dune movie a couple years ago, I said in the video, I've never read the original books, I don't know how this story is going to play out, but for this first movie, I didn't really care for it that much because it felt like just a standard white savior movie. But here come the book readers like, oh, I can tell from this video, you clearly didn't read the books. I said that in the intro of the video. And then they go on and spoil, it's not a white savior movie because this is what happens in the second book, yada, yada, yada. It's like, okay, thank you for telling me what happens in the next book instead of letting me discover it myself. So it's like, obviously you agreed with me because in order for them to dismantle the white savior trope, they have to establish it first, which is what was done in that first movie. Or even like recently, I'm reviewing Interview with the Vampire. I've made no bones about the fact that I've never read any of the Vampire Chronicle books. And you have some people like, this is why it's important to read the books. You're missing information. If you read the books, you would know this or this or this, or this is what's gonna happen here. And it's like, again, thank you for spoiling the books for me instead of letting me discover it on my own. And not only just that, but with Interview with the Vampire specifically, it is nothing like the original book, even in just the fact that they made Claudia and Louis black and they inject moments and instances of their blackness within the story. And it's one of the rare shows on television, especially fantasy shows, with a black queer leading character. And so it kind of makes me not even interested in reading the books because the Louis from the show is completely different from the Louis of the books. And the things that they've done in the show that are so different makes me more interested in the show than the original books. And especially the fact I read the book, he's not a black queer male lead, and the queerness is more in your face in the show than it is in the books because, you know, Anne Rice wrote the books in the 1970s, so the queerness was more subtle as opposed to overt. And her vampires, they're not having sex, but AMC Plus's vampires, they fucking. Like, I've even had people say like, oh, you only know Harry Potter from the movies, you never read the books. Not to me, because I've read the books, but they're like, you never read the books, you're not a real fan. And obviously when it comes to these type of videos, you always got to do this type of disclaimer. I'm not talking about every single person that has read every single book or book readers in general. Obviously I would include myself in the book reader category. I do read books. I mean, you can see all my books that are here on the floor. My bookshelf collapsed and I just haven't had the money or the funds to buy a new bookshelf, but don't judge me. Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi is going to be coming out soon. Gina Prince Blythewood is already announced as the director and they said they're going to start casting. There are going to be people that are reviewing this movie that have not read the book. That is okay. It'd be a whole nother thing entirely if I come on here claiming I'm an expert on like Spider-Man, for example, and I only know because I watched the movies or the original 90s cartoon, but I've never actually picked up a comic, then yeah, call me out. I don't know what I'm talking about. But if I'm enjoying, say, My Hero Academia, and I've never read the manga, then let me enjoy the manga and don't spoil it for me. Or if I'm reviewing just the anime, but I've never read the manga, then let me review the anime, not the manga. If you want to have people talk about the manga or the book or the comic, I'm pretty sure there are plenty of creators doing that. But if you see somebody just reviewing the movie or the TV show, let them review the movie or the TV show without having to bring in your entitlement because you read the book. Like if I'm reviewing Interview with the Vampire season 2 and I'm like, I wonder if Armand knew about the treachery that happened with the Théâtre des Vampires. Like you shouldn't be coming in my comment section where, well, in the book, he knew about it. He had his hand in it. It's like, thank you for spoiling what could potentially happen. It's like, yeah, I get you're excited and you want to talk about it, but there are ways to join in the conversation as a book reader without ruining the surprise for everybody else. Because also, they might not go that direction in the show. But yeah, I had to get that rant out because this has been bothering me for a while. But with that, do the things over here to boost this video in the algorithm. This is one of your first time checking out one of my videos. Check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, hopefully you hit that follow button. And welcome to my safe haven.